African National Taxi Council, SANTACO, is at the Wanderers taxi rank in Johannesburg to discuss plans to implement sanitizers to taxis, as well as, the taxi ranks. Is also screening of commuters for the coronavirus in the province. The Minister of Transport, Fikile Mbalula, announced that random screenings will be conducted at taxi ranks and train stations across the country. And this will be done in an attempt to curb or stop the spread of the coronavirus. The SANTACO is currently having a press briefing. Let's go there now live.
Major taxi ranks in the country, in the 9 provinces. Each province has major taxi ranks. That is what we have identified, and we are going to be concentrating on a few days on those ranks before we depart to other ranks. At these taxi ranks, we will not only roll out our education, training and prevention campaign, but also ensure stringent monitoring for compliance of procedures and protocols that we call the coronavirus protocols of SANTACO. This would include the following. And I will hand out a protocol document to the Secretary of the Gauteng province as we finish now. Because the Secretary of the province and the Executive Committee of the province, the Executive Committees of the regions, the Executive Committee of the associations, they are the ones, and I'm calling on all the chairmen and the secretaries and the executives of the provinces, that as from today on, they are the ones, they are now the soldiers that must see to it that on a daily basis, this program continues unabated. The taxi ranks and ranking facilities are kept clean and disinfected using certified chemicals, that all taxis are cleaned on a daily basis and disinfected as frequent as possible to ensure that chances of contaminations are reduced. All taxis to have sanitizers that are offered to all passengers as they enter the taxi and after handling taxi fares. Queue marshals, let me just before on the taxi fares. I've heard something yesterday, and I want to talk to all taxi commuters and to all people in South Africa. Don't hand over your monies to anybody. There is no instructions from the Reserve Bank that people should collect money from you. I'm using this particular stage here to say even to taxi drivers that nobody should come in the name of the Reserve Bank, in the name of government, to collect monies for you and say that this monies will be returned to you. If you give your money out, you must know that you are not going to get it back, and nobody is responsible except yourself. So keep your money with yourself. Queue marshals constantly encourage and ensure that passengers always should observe good hygiene habits. To promote washing of hands with water and soap and applications of sanitizers that will be pledging today here, that everybody in the vicinity of the taxi rank always cover their mouths and nose when coughing and sneezing. Encourage the same hygienic habits practiced at home and by the loved ones. More details on the procedures and protocols are contained in the document that we will be distributing to all taxi associations as the minimum blueprint to be followed to ensure that our facilities are coronavirus free. Owing to the traveling restrictions announced by the President of the Republic, we will also find practical ways of ensuring engagement with our structures in the execution of our plans. A national command center that is chaired by the President of SANTACO has already been formed, and similar structures will be operational in the province. Through these structures, we will be monitoring implementation of the coronavirus prevention protocols that we will expect every stakeholder in this process to comply with. I want to emphasize this task ahead of us is not easy, and while we anticipate challenges, we remain committed to ensuring a successful project that will dispel this pandemic from the taxi industry and ultimately save us from what can easily become a deadly encounter. I therefore wish to call our drivers, queue marshals, hawkers and commuters to collaborate during this time. I further call on the leadership of the taxi industry in all spheres of our operations. Let me just pause here and to thank the leadership of KwaZulu-Natal for adhering when the president made this call and became proactive. You have seen how our structure in KwaZulu-Natal went on, and I want to say to the chairman, Mr. Bibi Zondi, and his executive that we are very proud of the leadership in KwaZulu-Natal for being this proactive. To become active points of the direction during this course, I am confident that when we all pull together in one direction, we will beat the coronavirus spread and consequently eliminate it completely. It can be done if we work together. As the President indicated, the President of the Republic indicated that as South Africans, if we take hands together and we move together, we can beat this scourge. Cleaning of the taxi rank will take place, disinfection of the taxi rank, and I think that demonstration will be done, how it's going to be done. Disinfection of taxis, sanitising of passengers as they enter or leave the taxi rank. Before I conclude, let me talk to us as the taxi drivers, and I hope the taxi drivers and the commuters are going to listen to this because it's not part of my speech, but I thought it's very important message that we should know. I want to make an appeal to all South Africans who are using taxis and somewhere else, that it's not everybody who coughs or who sneezes who has corona. That can only be discovered by the doctors. So let's leave this thing of saying to anybody we meet or anybody in the vehicle, we start discriminating against that person to say he's got coronavirus. Let's leave that thing, and I'm appealing to passengers that because from your influence passengers, normally taxi drivers act. We are not doctors and we are not going to be judges of who has coronavirus or not. And I'm appealing to all my taxi drivers, nobody should be alighted from your taxis. Nobody should be moved from your taxis just because you suspect that he's got this pandemic. So I am appealing to all of you, and I'm appealing to all taxi operators to continuously on a daily basis, twice a day, as the taxi driver comes to take the vehicle, as the taxi driver brings the vehicle in the evening, please talk to him and ask him how did it go and about the wellness of our customers. In conclusion, I want to say that the taxi industry, we do not by any means claim to be health experts, and therefore wish to direct anyone with specific medical questions and seeking advice on suspected cases or symptoms to make contact with the national hotline of SANTACO, which is of the Department of Health, which is 800 08 000 2999. 0800 00 2999. The health authorities, there will be people who will be giving direction there. And we can only trust on God today as South Africans, as the world, and we can only say to in prayer to our Lord, and we must keep on praying, let's not stop praying, to say God must bring sanity, God must bring the necessary relief to this scourge of coronavirus. I want to thank you all, and I want to thank the queue marshals and car washers. You are very important to our industry. The rank marshals, all of you are very important to the taxi industry. And listen, it doesn't matter how you look, it doesn't matter how you talk. You are very important as a human being to the taxi industry, and we want to grow this industry with you. We might, in the process of this particular program that we are busy with, we might call upon you that we dispatch you on a semi-full-time basis to assist us in ensuring that this particular process is succeeding. So just before I close and I give an opportunity to the media, I want to hand over a document to the leadership of Gauteng, in particularly to the Secretary of Gauteng, Mr. Chabalala, and I would want to rise as I am giving this protocol. This protocol is a directive to all the taxi managers in our taxi rank, to all our taxi executives, to all our taxi associations throughout the country as to what good practice are we going to involve ourselves in ensuring that we fight together this scourge of violence. And I will hand over this document to Mr. Chabalala, and it reads as follows: the taxi industry coronavirus COVID-19 prevention protocols, March 2020. Taxi industry emergency response and procedures to limit the spread of the coronavirus within the taxi environment. The media will get copies of this from the manager, Mr. Chabalala. Thank you very much. We can now sit.
Thank you very much for your audience. Don't worry, we will get it right. Don't worry. Thank you very much for your audience. What we will do now, we will give questions. Depending on the number of questions, it will restrict how long and how far we can go. Let's shoot into the questions if there are any. There's nothing wrong if there are no questions. So, but I'm saying if there are, we would appreciate them. We've got one, in that order, two. We've got only two questions. Can I then say we will take these two questions and then we'll conclude and move to the actual action. Remember, time for talking is over. This is time for action. Thank you.
I need to get gloves myself. Mr. Tybosh, thank you so much for this grand webinar here from ETV News and Sport and Open View. Just wanted to find out, where's the funding coming from for all of this? Do you have a budget from SANTACO? Are you working in collaboration with government? How much is this all going to cost for the 1,000 taxi ranks and 16.5 million commuters taking onto taxis? I'm sure it's going to be a hell of a lot of money. And secondly, just on top of that, I'm sure you're going to get minibus taxi drivers are going to say, I'm not going to take money out of myself to pay for hand sanitizers and those sort of things. You're going to get operators who are not keen to do this. What do you say to those operators? Thank you, sir.
Next question.
All right, there you go. Philip Tybosh, SANTACO's Philip Tybosh. They're giving some salient advice to passengers who use taxis. A huge number of people use taxis in South Africa, so it's important to get the messaging correct. He was talking about the cleaning of taxi ranks and cleaning of taxis in particular. And one of the things he was appealing to people who use taxis is that not everybody who coughs and sneezes has the virus. So that's some very, very important advice indeed. We'll try to replay some of that, those clips in a short while in the next hour or so.